look, we can create parking here, or we can create parking here to be able for you to build your business. Absolutely. We have to think outside the box when we talk about these non-conforming lots, because none of these lots will ever conform to the codes that we have today. So what you see down there is just a flood of car lots and thrift shops. And so if that's the clientele that you're gonna bring down there, then that's exactly what you can expect to receive. The Riverwalk project, I think, will kickstart a lot of that US 1 project. Streetscapes on US 1 as well. But again, we need to think outside the box when it comes to our planning and zoning to be able to help some businesses in their zoning, parking, and their structural needs to be able to get a business into a space. Thank you.
Thank you, Lance. Well, that wraps up all the prepared questions. I'm going to give each of these candidates a few minutes to kind of tell you a little bit about themselves. We're running ahead of schedule, so if maybe you guys want 3 minutes, that work for you? Are you good? 30 seconds? What do you want? Less than two. I'll have our timekeeper go with 3. If you use less than that, that's up to you. But again, this is for you guys to talk to your people, and I'll remind you, as I asked for you earlier, you know, you're asking for somebody to vote for you, not vote against your opponent. So I just ask you to keep it in that frame of mind. And I'll start with Mr. Tremont.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us here tonight. Thank you for all you guys for being here. Just 2 years ago, I was sitting in your seat watching the debates as well. Troy, these questions have been phenomenal. You know, we've had a real discussion on policy, and I really think, you know, in today's day and age, in today's political arena, it's refreshing to see questions that demonstrate people's knowledge of the issues, as opposed to what we're seeing in today's culture. So I'm honored to share the stage with all these people. There's a wealth of knowledge up here. There's good people. I have the highest respect for each one of them. I know what it takes to do a campaign. Each one of these folks has knocked on thousands of doors, as have I, and I've talked to residents all over the city and have done their homework. So it's a lot of time invested, believe me, I know, and a lot of energy and effort put into that. So my compliments to everybody up here. You know, my name again is Chase Tremont. I teach U.S. history at Spruce Creek High School. I grew up here. I've lived here. I was born in 1979. Family moved here in '84. I've lived here a long time. I am homegrown. I am Port Orange. I'm a product of the investment that so many of you guys have made in this community. This is what you've done, what you've created. Like it or not, I'm a product of our city. And I'm also a husband and a father of 4 children. I have a 15-year-old, 11, 2.5, and 4 months. And you know, having lived here all my life, being a teacher in this community, and having children, I not only have a vested interest in preserving our heritage, I have a vested interest in our current state of affairs as I invest my life into hundreds of families on a daily basis. I also have a major investment in the future of Port Orange. I'm not going anywhere. This is where I've chosen to plant my roots, or keep my roots planted, I should say, and raise my family. It's my turn now to take your place and try to give back to the upcoming generation. I'm not looking to wait until I retire. I want to work now while I'm in the prime of my life, while I have the energy to do it, and I have the motivation for it. One of the things that separates me from a lot of candidates is empathy. Empathy, I think, is missing from today's political culture and government and politics in general. By that, I mean, I'm the average guy. I know what it feels like to live paycheck to paycheck. I do it every month. I know what it feels like in the pit of my stomach when I watch the needle rise as I fill up my gas tank every week. I know what it does to the pit of my stomach when I look at the receipt after buying groceries for my family. I can relate with anybody in that sense. And at the same time, I know how to live within my means and still provide my family with a quality of life that supersedes so many others. That's who you want taking care of the finances of Port Orange. You want somebody that knows how to balance the checkbook, knows how to live within their means, and still provide a quality of life for the residents. Thank you for listening. My name is Chase Tremont, and I am asking for your vote on August 30th. Thank you.
Thank you, Chase. Ms. Jones.
First of all, if you can, one of my friends from the audience pointed out to me that I was sitting fairly far from the mic. And maybe if anybody didn't hear my answers, you can stay afterwards and I'll repeat them, because I have them all down here on a piece of paper. And I do apologize if it was hard to hear me. I want to thank the Homeowners Association and every one of you for coming and listening to me, and I do hope you heard me. Preparing the answers to your questions was for me a thought-provoking experience, and I'm grateful that I had it because it gave me some more insight into the city and led me to some more research. To describe myself a little bit more to you, I am a widow. I was widowed in '05. I am only responsible for myself. I have a lot of energy. I'm interested in politics, and I like it. And so I'm doing this, one, because I think we should help our fellow man, but I would be less than honest if I didn't tell you I also like it. And I think I have the time and the energy and the interest to do a good job. One of my beliefs is that as a representative of the people, you don't do what you would like to have done. You do what the people you represent want done. Unless you believe that what they want is totally off the wall or bad. But I really have trouble with representatives who follow their own agenda. I think you follow the agenda of the people that elected you and come to you and say that they want something done a certain way. The last thing I would like to do is I want to thank each and every one of you for coming, ask you to please tell your friends about me, and with deep respect, ask for your vote on August 30th or in early voting, and I thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Mr. Burnett, table is yours.
Well, first of all, thank you, Troy. I appreciate you and the Alliance putting this event on. I think it is a wonderful experience when we get so many people up here and we all care about this city on some level and want to make a difference. I was raised in a very close-knit family, and I was taught that you go pay it forward, and this is how you make an impact. Government can't fix everything, and I know that. But one of the things that makes Port Orange special is we don't just provide basic services. We go beyond just the police, the fire, the water, and the trash. What makes us unique and what makes us a quality community is that we provide the things, the rec opportunities, the parks, the things that people want that help make this place special. And I think this is the reason why people want to live here, is because of the things that we do. I certainly made a choice with my wife many, many years ago that we could have lived anywhere in Volusia County. This is where we wanted to raise our kids. And I'm very proud of both my young men, the ones, what they're becoming. I think they're both very God-fearing young men. They're going to go out, they're going to make their mistakes, but you know what? They're going to learn from them. A lot of this is because of the culture we've raised them in this city. I'm very proud of that. I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from UCF. I didn't stray far to go to school, and I came back. I want to make sure that we have opportunities for these kids that grow up and come through our high schools like I did, so that there are opportunities beyond just the basic needs and the basic jobs. I want to be able to make that difference. I've been involved, and still am, extensively in our schools. I've served on the Salvation Army Advisory Board for a dozen years, and 10 of them as treasurer, because I believe that government can't fix everything, so you go out and roll up your sleeves and make an impact where things can be done. And I believe that we do those things as a community and we march forward. What I want to be able to do is listen and take all those things that people want. People have needs, people have wants. There's some things that we can do, there's some things that we can't. We got to balance those with our ability to pay for them so that this is a very affordable community. We want to remain the 7th safest community in the state of Florida, and that just doesn't happen by accident. And it happens, yes, because volunteers are involved in our police department, but you can't replace the people in our police department with volunteers. The function that they have of making this city safe is critical. We're swearing in 5 new officers on Monday, and that doesn't happen by accident. Yeah, we've got to pay them a little bit to make sure that we're competitive. Moving forward, we're looking at adding 10 more officers in the next 5 years. We can't have quality unless we're safe. So I'm committed to making sure that you all stay safe and that you live in a quality community, and I hope to earn your vote on August 30th. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Mr. Knopfler.
I came to this town as a young man with a young family. And if God smiles on me, I will die here as an old man, a very old man, hopefully. I am fully committed and vested to this town to the extent anyone is. And I want to put aside this notion about basic services and that I want to roll up government. The only part of government I want to roll up is the inefficient part. And I will ask you here tonight, how many of you believe that government can do anything as efficiently and economically as the private sector? And that citizens are not meant to be the ultimate bosses and ultimate benefactors of government? Or that the government of Port Orange is any less out of touch than the government in Washington? How many of you believe that the Dunlawton traffic snarl was not the result of incompetence and crony developer greed? That the widespread flooding we have in areas that did not traditionally flood is not the result of government incompetence? That department heads too often have been populated with suits who are intent on growing their department, going to meetings, going to lunches with high-paid consultants, rather than do the job they were hired to do. A great example was Tuesday night, $400,000 of your money spent on consent without comment one to survey our swales and ditches. Go talk to the operators that run these equipments. We have laser sighting. Every time they go to work, they sight culvert to culvert. They know the elevations they're working with, but this is easy. This means you don't have to go out and do your job, which is keep these drains and ditches open. That we're not facing a 10% property tax. We can talk about all the high values we want, but we're facing a 10% tax increase for many years to come, if you understand what's driving this year's 10% tax increase. That our water and sewer fees have not increased dramatically in the last short while. How many of you believe it's okay for the manager and mayor to withhold information, to operate in secrecy, to backbill citizens for city errors, for council to have one standard for themselves and another standard for you and I? If you believe these things are okay, then vote for either one of my opponents. Please do so. They are status quo candidates. They have no intention of changing anything. But if you believe Port Orange government needs to be shaken until it is operating in the open, living within its means, and providing needed services in a responsible and affordable manner, if you want your Port Orange government to work for your benefit, to strengthen public safety by bolstering our VIPs back to 100+, reduce taxes through transparent line item budgeting and honest accounting, honest financial accounting, then vote for me, Ted Knopfler, on August 30th. Thank you so much for coming here tonight.
Thank you, Ted. Last but not least, Mr. Green, wrap it up for us.
Thank you, Joy. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. My family's been in Port Orange since 1910. I have a heritage and I have a history here in Port Orange. My family's leadership has guided us through the early growth, what is a model city today. Other cities in our state and other around the states model themselves after what a great city we have right here in Port Orange. And this is what we call our home. Since a young man, I've always been passionate and I've always been a champion for Port Orange. And I knew someday I would be right here. I've volunteered and I've assumed leadership position roles in Port Orange for the last 35 years. I've coached baseball, I've volunteered in the parks, and I've also been my AHOA president for 6 years. So I know most of you guys can feel for me. And that was in Cypress Head, which was a very difficult neighborhood. And again, I've volunteered in my neighborhoods as well as other things. One of my main priorities as a leader here is to assure our residents that we are safe within our community. Right now, sad to say that I'm not totally sure that we are. Budget constraints have a lot to do with that. We cannot staff or retain proper amount of personnel within our public safety departments, okay? We have a crisis within our community right now. The police chief just released results of the 2015 crime in our city. It is tremendously higher than it was the year before, from 16 to 15. The Walmart, as an example, recorded over $1 million in theft from our Port Orange store. Do you want to take your family to the Port Orange Walmart when there's this much theft going on? I think not. So again, we have a very major crisis when it comes to our public safety. We had to disband our crime suppression unit, which was a 4 or 5 man team that was proactive on crime and that was beating all these little petty crimes within our neighborhoods. We had to disband them to put them back in cars to put them on patrol because we don't have enough patrolmen. Okay, so with that being said, my main issue obviously is to keep us safe. We are the 7th safest city in the state based on our capita. And again, it wasn't by accident, as Don would tell you. This is made by choice. And it's a lot of hard work. And we have a great police chief and we have a great new fire chief on staff. We have an excellent new finance director, and we have also new key people coming in place that I think are going to make it very, very efficient going down and coming forward. So with that being said, I'll leave you with this. I can't help what happened yesterday, but I can help from today and going forward. Okay, this is why I'm asking for your support to become the next mayor of our great city of Port Orange. Thank you.
Thank you, Lance. We say we give all these guys a round of applause. And the same for yourselves. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Again, we appreciate your time, and that's it. Make sure you vote, either early or on August 3rd. Thank you. Have a great evening.